Hi guys, my name is Lucy and I really have very little experience when it comes to acrylic pouring, but I've been doing some things recently and people have asked me how I've done them. So I just wanted to show everyone how I've done my tiles. This is the Artist Loft Pre-mixed pouring paint. Resisted it for a while, didn't because I like mixing my own, but thought I'd give it a try and I really quite love it. It's super reactive to silicone, but it's really quite pretty. Yeah, anywho. So today I'm using the sap green, the phthalo blue, the metallic silver, the titanium white, and the aqua green. So those are today's colors. This tile here is just your regular 6 by 6 inch cheap ceramic tile. I've wiped it down with a baby wipe and that's it. I'm using a 2-ounce shot glass and a stir stick. All right, so I'm gonna try and make a dark greenish blue. Don't want it to be too green because I find that green really takes over. It's never one of my favorite colors, but as you see, I'm just putting it in the bottom there. Give it a stir. That's actually really quite a pretty color. It's a little bit more turquoise than I was hoping, but I'm not going to remix it for this little demo I'm doing because who knows whether the painting will turn out well. I hope you can see everything. My setup here in my little art place is really quite tight, and so I'm hoping that you can see the color here. It's a very pretty dark tealy blue, and as you saw, that was just a squirt of the phthalo blue and a squirt of the sap green, just mixed together in the bottom of this 2-ounce plastic shot glass. So let's go with that one for the bottom layer. I just have been putting 1 drop of this Spot On Precision Pouring Oil 100% silicone. I also use this Spot On belt lubricant, but I saw this one recently and thought I would give this a try versus this one just to see if there's any remarkable difference. There isn't. So, and I think they're about the same price. I forget how much they are, but they last forever because you use such a small amount. Anyway, so I am going to put 1 drop of silicone in this color. This is a 2-ounce cup. This is maybe 3/4 of an ounce, maybe, give or take. All right, 1 drop of silicone. That's it, done. That can go away. Now I'm going to mix this really well, just in the bottom of this cup. This will be a 1 cup fits all. No other mixing cups necessary. Because it's a pre-mixed paint, you can just pour it right out of the container. So there we go. All right, so that 1 drop of silicone really mixed into there, and then we have the first color in the cup. I like to keep these ones pretty simple, so I tend to only do 2 or 3 colors plus white or black. Just to keep them simple, really, for no reason. This is the metallic silver that I'm going to put in now. So literally just make a layer over the top of your first layer in the cup there. There we go, there's the layer of silver. Now I'm going to put in some of this really pretty aqua green. This is very translucent when it dries. So I'm not expecting this to show up a lot, but I've done a couple in this kind of color scheme and it's popped through either in the cells or given a very kind of thin film over top of other colors. I like this one a lot, but yes, very translucent. You can see through it quite well. So I'm going to put some of that on top of the silver. Again, not sure whether in the finished piece whether we'll be able to see very much of it. It's been my experience that it does disappear a bit, but it also is a very pretty color if it pops through the cells. Last layer I'm going to put on is their titanium white, and I'm going to do same as the other colors, a layer of titanium white. This is actually a little bit too much paint for this tile. I'm going to go with it anyway, but I usually probably get to this bottom lip. Sorry, I'm not used to doing, I've never made a video in my life. Usually get to about this bottom lip here. This is a little bit too much, but we'll give it a try. Flip it over onto the tile. I'm going to let it hang out there for a little bit because I find that if I just kind of leave them, you know, it falls down, makes the paint look pretty, and y'all know about that. Yeah, oh goodness, weird not kind of having anyone in the room and doing some talking, so I think I'm just going to get on with this. All right, take the cup. What I have been doing with the other ones, again, who knows whether this will work, is lifting it up pretty slowly and letting the paint have a little bit of a dribble out. And then I've been taking the lip of the cup, thank you Karen Durshin, from Waterfall Acrylics, and sending that lip back through the paint to put just a little bit more interest in there, put some lines in, make it, you know, give it the option or the opportunity to be slightly less blobby. Does that make any sense at all? And then I usually tip out the rest of the paint on just a random corner. I don't need to so much with this because I actually put a little bit too much paint in my cup. Anyhow, so you can see just with pouring it on, it's not doing anything particularly spectacular, but it is producing a couple of cells already. So what I've done from this point is I have just tilted and tipped it off. Because there's a little bit more paint, I am going to let it just freely run off the sides. Oftentimes I don't, and I catch it with my fingers because this paint is not cheap, and consequently I don't want to be using gallons and gallons and gallons of it. So when I do that, I just put my fingers across the corner. I think we've all seen a ton of artists doing this, and then just letting it float down the sides that way. Trying to see what I like, what I don't. I think I'm going to do this corner next. Get that off the side. I'm sorry, you probably can't see very much at this point. And then pull that paint back a little bit. Get some of those lines, and then we'll head towards this last corner. See if I can get that zigzag out, but maybe hang on to that weirdly shaped cell because I'm kind of digging it. And there we go. So there is the tile. I'm going to look at the composition very slightly here. I don't usually worry about it too much. I'm going to take it just a little bit off this other corner here because I have blobbed my finger into it. I don't want to lose too much of that aqua. You see it peeking through there like I mentioned. So I want to try and capture a little bit of that, but just catch that corner one more time and then bring the weight of the paint back to the middle of the tile. And back on those little things. I've just been wiping the back of the tile off like this, just so that I'm not smearing any patterns along the edges that may have formed, as opposed to running my finger down them. I've just been kind of pulling them off this way, which then doesn't alter any little cells that might be starting to show up on the side. I think all of my sides and corners are good. If not, I can grab a little bit of paint, blob my finger onto there. It's all good. In the general scheme of things, you're not going to see that. Oh, another corner down here, a little bit more of a blob. I'll try and get it in a kind of similar vein of the colors around it, but I really don't worry too much about stuff like that. I like my paintings and stuff to look like I've made them. I know that sounds weird, but I kind of like the slight you know, wrongness sometimes. It just, I don't know, it just makes it that little bit more special, I think. Okay, anyway, stop waffling. We're done here. That is that part. I usually use a really big propane torch, but I have gone back to this little butane. As you can see, it's rather disgusting, rather well used. Sometimes it lights first time, sometimes it lights 15th time. But this is just, oh goodness, are you kidding me? This is just a refillable torch that you can pick up at drugstores. No, not drugstores, what are you talking about? Hardware stores, places like that. Simple, quick, cheap and easy. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of selective torching and decide where I'd like to see some cells. And I'm going to follow this center line through here. Remember, we put the silicone in the dark blue, so we know that that dark blue there is going to pop. As I said, very reactive to silicone, so I literally take this torch and I will do this along the middle. And you can see how much that is popping up just with that one quick sweep. It really doesn't take very much at all for this paint to pop out like that. I would also, because of the thick line of blue here, I know it's not going to sell in the middle because there's nothing there to kind of have, like this corner here, there won't be really anything under there. But what I can do is just very lightly pass the torch through that way, and like literally it's just a sweep and it just picks up a couple of little things. And then what I'll do as well here for the last little piece is run this quickly over that corner. And then there's a few more little things there which will come up. And that is how I do my tiles with the Artist Loft Pre-mixed pouring paint. I'm going to shut off this video and I will take some close-ups of this tile and post that along with this little video. I hope I haven't been too irritating, and I hope you guys can see how fairly simple it is. And that sounds awful because I don't find acrylic pouring simple at all. I think it's extraordinarily difficult, and the people who do it well are amazing artists, but this pre-mixed stuff makes it very easy. So have a go, enjoy, happy painting everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so very much for your kind comments and questions about these tiles. I've had a lot of fun doing them and I'm really quite pleased with them. Okay, thank you, bye bye.